and today, in honour of spooky season and the beginning of Spooky Builds, we're going to be doing a Halloween themed build, I guess. Well, no, we're going to do a witchy build, so a cottage kind of vibe for a witch, but like she's got like a secret hidden spell casting sort of area. And I'm really excited for how this is going to turn out. I hope it goes to how I plan because I feel like sometimes you plan builds and like they just go horrendously wrong. But anyway, well, let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm kind of nervous about doing my first voiceover because like I don't know if I should talk about like what I'm doing in the build, or if I should talk about something completely unrelated because like you can see what I'm doing, but like then it's like what do I talk about otherwise? So I mean, for now, I think I'm just gonna talk about the build, but like, if there's anything, like any topics that I could talk about in future, and anyone wanted to hear me talk about different things instead of my builds, then I'd be really happy to do that. Okay, so this was my first mess up in the game. I went back to playing Sims 3 recently, and so I was used to the whole like, okay, we build the foundation first. So then I was doing that with the platform, and obviously that's stupid. So at some point throughout this video, I do fix that, but I don't show it because it took me an embarrassing amount of time to realize what I'd done. And I was like, oh dear. So yeah, I'm just sectioning out all of the rooms here. And then having more difficulties. I think my videos are probably just gonna show how chaotic my mind is whilst I'm doing my Sims builds. So yeah, it's a weird insight into my brain watching my videos. Because this build was all over the place. Like building the shell, fine, whatever. But once I get into the decorating, it's like you'll see me cutting from each bit, like where there's some bits that have been kind of half decorated, but not. Like you'll see me going through it because I just like I get stuck, and then I'm like, oh, I'll come back to it, and then so it looks a little bit disjointed if you were to notice that, and I want to address it so people, if anybody does notice it and they're like, what's she doing? Like the order of that's all edited wrong. It's not edited wrong. It's edited in the most coherent way I can without it jumping from room to room every 5 seconds. When I do my builds, I have quite a lot of like Pinterest inspiration pictures, so I tend to work from like a floor plan, um, and then like for each room, I'll get like a lot, like a collage of different inspiration pictures. So it's just an amalgamation of everything that I think might be the same vibe, really. I wish Sims content creators were allowed to use like the Sims loading music as background music in their videos because I think it'd fit really well and like as well. I don't know if EA could really like argue um that it's losing them like money if people were using it and like profiting on their videos from it because like well they're promoting your content and like I think it wasn't until I started watching like TikToks and YouTube videos and everything that got me back into playing Sims. Like I'd had a break since I graduated from uni last year, when I moved back home with my parents, and then since moving out again, I've been like, I just wanted to get back into Sims like outside of work and things to have something to keep me entertained. Without content creators like that, I wouldn't have got back into playing Sims and then making content of my builds and things like that. So it's an interesting argument to be had, but obviously the royalties in music are kind of a separate issue. I don't really know how that works legally, but I imagine it wouldn't be quite so simple as a case of EA putting out like a press release being like, it's okay guys, use it. Like it wouldn't be as simple as that, as much as we might all want it to be like that. I was really proud of this like DIY four poster bed that I did for the main bedroom, because I was gonna use like columns or something, but there was no columns that were gold, and I needed this to be like gold and blue was what I wanted for this room. And then I found these street posts from the cottage core pack that were like that you could have in a gold swatch. So that was incredible that I could do that. It made me very happy. And when I add the lights to the bed at the end, it's so beautiful. I think I lost the rest of the footage of the decorating in the bedroom, so you'll just have to rely on the screenshots at the end, which I think it looks stunning and it is really nice to see. It's just a shame you can't see the process of it. But yeah, the living room was a challenge. It took a lot of chopping and changing around until I finally worked out what I wanted to do with it. Because originally I was going to do this like whole like red and like teal thing, but like a deep teal. But like I couldn't find bookcases that matched the wall well enough. Like they were close, but not close enough. So I was like, okay, we'll just completely rethink tactics and do red and purple and black, which kind of leans into gothic vibes, which isn't really what I wanted to do, but I think it works quite well, so I'm not mad at it in the end. But looking back on this video, I do realise I could have made some sneaky built-in bookcases in teal with those three shelves that just go on the wall. If I'd just built those in, I could have sneakily made some instead. But it's always, hindsight is 2020. And then I was having all this struggle with the dining table. It looked really weird next to the, like, where I could place it with space next to the window. It looked strange, so I was like, okay, guess I'm moving the whole living room across and adding in an extra window. Yeah, so I put the dining room over on this wall in this corner. And yeah, it took me a little while to decide which chairs I wanted, but I edited that out for you, for anyone watching, for their sake, so they don't have to sit there and watch me choose chairs. I do regret not putting like a nice picture on the wall of the dining table, but I was kind of thinking like there's already like there's already a gallery wall in the entryway, and then things up above the side table, so I didn't want to overdo it, but I think I probably should have just gone for it. I feel like I could have made this video so much shorter if I'd cut out the bits where I was faffing with like cluttering different areas and stuff. Like, everyone knows that someone is going to clutter the room. Like, do they need to see every tiny detail? I guess that's something I'll work out as I get more and more used to doing videos and things, but I don't really know what anyone prefers to see, because I think I'd be fine with seeing it, but then when I'm seeing the length of the videos that I'm making, I'm like, oh, maybe I could cut that out. But then I'm like, if I was watching somebody, I'd be like, I wouldn't want them to cut it out. I want it to look like, see everything that they're doing. And then, because sometimes I think, like, especially with cluttering, that like there's stuff that I never even thought about using in certain ways until I see someone else do it, and I'm like, that's so cool. Why have I never done that? So like, it can be really valuable. I don't know. Cabinet to go against this wall, and I just didn't like any of them. Um, so then I decided to ignore that idea for a minute, I think. Yeah, I ignored that, and I was like, oh, I'll just do a gallery wall if they don't fit. It didn't look quite right, like it looked too much in that space. So I was like, okay, gallery wall it is. But I later changed my mind and did place a cabinet there, but just a different, skinnier cabinet, and I think it fills the space a lot better. And then having something on the wall in the entryway, the gallery wall, just makes it look so much more like the space looks more filled, even though there's no more items in it, because you can't block that space because it's like the access to the stairs, well, ladder. It took a lot of chopping and changing in my thought process of decorating the like little ladder entrancey bit. I just couldn't decide what I wanted. I was like, I'll just put like a little side table in here and some bits on there to sort of fill the space out. Um, but when I got to the walls and floor, I was so stressed about it because I was like, this looks really nice with the like light yellow and the light floorboards, but I was like, I don't know about the color of the wood, and then like how light it is compared to the rest of the house. So I was like, okay, I changed it to dark blue for some reason, and then I've changed it back to being light again, but not as light. And then I was like, I think I need to focus on this less because this is not the most important room of the house. So here is the spare bedroom. I feel like the hardest part of making a bedroom is always choosing the bed, and choosing a bed for such a weird little attic-y spare bedroom was quite difficult. And I love the dark green walls, but I wish that they had a darker like moulding on them. But I think you can only do that with like the dark teal to have the darker moulding. I don't think it comes in this like nice emerald green. But I may be wrong. Maybe there's expansion packs with different things, but specifically with the base game things that I'm thinking of. It took me so long to decide what little chair they needed in the corner of the room. Like, that was the most absolutely important thing. Yeah, I feel like I like this room, but I don't know if maybe I could have done a little bit more with it. Like, especially on the walls. Maybe with the lighting. I don't really know. But, like, I like overall how it turned out in the end. There's something that I'm not sure about. So, like, if I were to upload this house onto the gallery, then I would not be offended if people felt like changing this bit, because it's definitely not my best work throughout the whole build. Choosing the windows for this greenhouse was an absolute nightmare, because I was like, I want windows that can be like higher up so we can disguise the ladder at the back for the basement as much as we can, but I was really struggling until I found these ones, and then it didn't work to put those windows on the front, so and I was like, I can't use move objects, it looks weird, so I was like, I'm just gonna choose a whole new door. Boom, it's all different. Yeah, so then I realised I had to change the outside wall decor to be something that blends in a little bit more with the new stuff. It doesn't quite blend all the way in, but like, it's a little black greenhouse, so you can't really complain about that. Maybe I could have waited to do this build until I got the greenhouse stuff pack or kit, whatever it is. There's so many different names for it now. It all used to be expansion packs back in the day of Sims 3. I feel so old. I'm literally like in my early 20s. I'm not even that old. I was gonna use tables and just put them together with the move objects tool, but then I realised that it would look way better with counters, and it almost gives that like workshop vibe with these counters specifically. So I went with those, and I'm pretty happy with the choice that I made for that in the end. And then I thought maybe there was too many counters, so like I'll just fill it with some clutter if I just get rid of one of the counters. Obviously lots of plants because it's a greenhouse. So for the little basement, I decided to just get absolutely everything from the Realm of Magic expansion pack out, so then I could just rearrange it, re-swatch it, and make it fit the vibe I wanted, which, I don't know, some people might see as being a bit of a cop-out, but I just think, like, nothing is gonna look as good as the stuff that's supposed to be there in, like, spellcasting for, like, it just makes the best witch's lair. Like, there's no other way about it. time to make, because I feel like I had no expansion packs or anything that like I feel like all my kitchen stuff is so boring, especially the counters. So I just made it work with what I could and stayed with the sort of witchy cottagecore vibe and went for cottagecore counters, of course. And I was like blue and red, maybe. I didn't want to kind of repeat too many colours, but then I gave myself a little talking to, and I was like, there is only so many colours in existence, Hannah. You cannot limit yourself to being like, oh, I couldn't possibly repeat red and blue. Like, it's not groundbreaking, and it still looks nice, so just calm yourself. I really feel about these bar stools, because I don't know if I want it to be as matchy as that, but it all comes together once we add this rug with the red and the blue and then add the red walls. It all makes sense in the end. And then we move right in to the screenshots. So much for watching my first video. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll come back to see more Sims content, maybe some more cozy gaming content in general, and most of all, I hope you have a great day.